I would like to thank Ashton Lewis for sending me this story right here. And this man's name is Senator Tim Scott. And he is definitely classified as one of these new Negroes. And you're about to find out why I said what I said. And this is going to go into the narrative of it taking a white person, unfortunately, for a black person to wake up to their senses. So this guy, after being in the position he's been in for a while now, is just now finding out how racist the Republican Party is. Now, we know that there are racists even in the Democratic Party. We know this. If you can read through the stuff that they say, you'll eventually figure it out. Apparently, Tim Scott is new to this. I'm going to go ahead and read this article coming from News One. Senator Tim Scott had an epiphany yesterday. Iowa Republican Steve King said, white nationalists, white supremacists, Western civilization. How did that language become offensive? Why did I sit in classes teaching me about the merits of our history and our civilizations? This was the shining moment for Scott to finally see there is racism in his 90% white and male Republican Party. Wow. He's just now realizing this. I don't know how old Tim Scott is, but he is old enough where he should know racism when he sees it or when he hears it. This is why a lot of black people can't take a lot of these black politicians seriously. Like, this guy is completely clueless. Let me continue. Scott, who is the only black senator in the GOP, started his opinion piece in the Washington Post with a stone cold lie. Over the past 2 years, Republicans have focused on spreading opportunity, and it has paid dividends. From the creation of opportunity zones in some of our nation's most distressed communities to amazing job creation statistics and low unemployment rates, there's no doubt that the future is brightening for many Americans. If you considering rolling back Obama era prison reforms, tearing apart children at the border, or a tax break that allowed General Motors to lay off 14,000 people, then that is spreading opportunities. He then babbled about Steve King and said when people with opinions similar to King's open their mouths, they damage not only the Republican Party and the conservative brand, but also our nation as a whole. They want to be treated with fairness for some perceived slights, but refuse to return the favor to those on the other side. He continued, some in our party wonder why Republicans are constantly accused of racism. It is because of our silence when things like this are said. Well, Tim Scott, if you had opened your eyes and your ears and was more aware, you, sir, could have probably called this out. But then again, I wonder, is he just blowing smoke up people's ass? Because I wonder, did he really know about this, or was he faking the funk the whole time? The piece is completely ironic considering back in March, the South Carolina senator said about Trump in an interview with Politico, I am not unaware of the president's past, he tells me. A long pause. Do you think he's a racist? I ask. Scott shakes his head. I don't. He replies, is he racially insensitive? Yes, but is he a racist? No. What's the difference? How is a 52-year okay, there's age. How is a 52-year-old man who attended Charleston Southern University and has been in government since 1995 not be aware of his president's history? In case you forgot, here are Trump's greatest hits of racism. Housing discrimination lawsuit from the 1970s, the racist birther movement against Obama, the Muslim travel ban, the Central Park Five Trump call for the execution of five black teenagers with a full-page ad in the New York Times in 1989, saying a judge of Mexican heritage cannot do his job because he is Mexican, and constantly attacking black public figures such as Jay-Z, Maxine Waters, the next person I'm not even going to name, Colin Kaepernick, etc., but ignoring people like Eminem, just to name a few. Scott is saying anything to not to upset his base. If a racist saying behind being a white supremacist isn't racist, is his first time seeing racism in his party, then it's politics over country for Scott. I agree. It seems like this Tim Scott dude is the type of person that will vote for anybody just because they have the title, which a lot of 45 supporters tend to do. They vote based on labels and titles. So for him to say that this is his first time really experiencing racism within his own party, as far as what Steve King said, I don't believe that. especially the part when he said, "Is he racially insensitive?" and he said yes, and then came back and said, "Is he racist?" No. Then that's pretty much the same thing. That's like when you get a question on an exam, and then 10 questions later they ask you the same question, but they reword it. It's the same exact answer. You basically say yes, he is racist if he's racially insensitive. That means he is racially insensitive to anybody who doesn't identify as he identifies. You idiot. I swear these new Negroes are something else. It don't matter. This man is in his 50s, but we see which side he leans to, and I'm gonna keep my eye on this Tim Scott character, because when he gets his wake up call, and he will, because they always do, you know I'm gonna be striking up my orchestra. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I will talk to you in the next one.